Throughout history, there has been many arguments both for and against the coexistence of both science and God. One aspect that is commonly addressed is whether evolution proves or disproves God, in particular, God creating Earth and its inhabitants. There are points both for and against this. Often, when scientists criticize Genesis, they say that it must be false, because it doesn't have proof for what it says. However, Genesis was meant to be a story, or a poem rather, than a science paper. The first chapter is written much like a poem, with both the structure and techniques being poetic. Also, it was written before any scientific advances were made, and therefore there was no such thing as the theory of evolution. This means that there was no way he could have included a scientific explanation in this book. When God made creation, the Bible notes that the order was sea and sky animals, followed by land animals and humans. This order is the same order in which scientists say evolution occurred. Also, God could have made one small being, then slowly created more and more, which were all based off the original creature. Although it was not mentioned in the Bible, it is completely plausible that God could have used evolution in creating the animals. Also, the days in the Bible were metaphorical time periods, meaning the times of creation can match up with those of evolution. The theory of evolution is based on common descent, but the Bible states that God made all the contents of earth himself. This means that creation by God must be impossible. Also, evidence of evolution proves that every creature evolved over millions of years, but the Bible said that everything was made in just 7 days. Another argument against God's creation is that the Bible is simply just a book. It seems unwise that millions of people believe in a book without evidence, and it clearly contradicts science in almost every way. This book, with no evidence, clearly cannot be considered truth over scientific evidence and fact, which is supported by thousands of renowned scientists around the world.
Evolution explains how things were made. However, creation explains why things were made. There are two things that cannot be compared.
I do not think evolution contradicts God and Christianity, because all the accounts in the Bible of how we came to be are poetic and so metaphorical, and so it does not contradict the scientific views of evolution.
Well, I do not know what I believe about evolution and creation. I guess I'm more towards creation, but then at the same time, it's you can sort of believe whatever you want, because it's not what you believe. Because with gay marriage and stuff, it's what your belief will impact others, because if you believed it's wrong, that's when it impact others. But then with evolution and creation, it won't. So I also believe that that creation can be with evolution at the same time.
I believe in evolution over creation.
Evolution is the fundamental idea in all of life science, in all of biology. It's very much analogous to trying to do geology without believing in tectonic plates. You're just not going to get the right answer. Your whole world is just going to be a mystery instead of an exciting place.
I want to make a distinction here, and for Bill's sake, we build models based upon the Bible, and those models are always subject to change. The fact of Noah's flood is not subject to change. The model of how the flood occurred is subject to change because we observe in the current world, and we're able to come up with maybe different ways this could have happened or that could have happened, and that's part of that scientific discovery. That's part of what it's all about.
After analysis, it is clear that both experts and most people believe that evolution does not contradict creationism. There are 3 key points that show that creation and evolution can coexist. Firstly, Genesis. The account for creation was written as a poem or a story and is a metaphorical representation. Secondly, that creation explains why things were made and evolution explains how things were made. And finally, that the Bible contains events, and the processes that cause these events are subject to change, often caused by science.
This shows how evolution and creationism are not contradicting arguments, but rather they are separate entities which complement and aid in proving each other.